Desfrute do novo Icon of the Seas da Royal Caribbean, agora partindo de Miami. É o ícone das férias repleto de atrações, com o maior parque aquático no mar e espetáculos sensacionais da Broadway. Com destinos incríveis no Caribe, incluindo a premiada ilha particular Perfect Day at Coco Cay, a aventura nunca acaba. Icon of the Seas, as melhores férias em família do mundo. Acesse royalcaribbean.com/BRA. Aplicam-se termos e condições.
Welcome to the Divorce Survival Guide podcast, where we have open and honest conversations about co-parenting, separation, divorce, and the hardest question of all, should you stay or should you go? I'm Kate Anthony, your Divorce Survival Guide, and I'm here to help you navigate some of the roughest waters you've ever swum in and answer some of your toughest questions. I've been to hell and back. And now it's my mission in life to help you get to the other side of this process with your sanity and your heart intact.
Hey everyone, welcome back. So it's a new month. Happy September. It used to mean that September this week was like when kids went back to school. I don't know about you guys, but where I live in Southern California, kids go back to school in the beginning of August. It's fucking ridiculous. But anyway, because it's so hot when they have to go back. Anyway, so if your kids are actually going back to school like normal people in the olden days after Labor Day, then this week is sort of like, we're all getting everything's back in gear, right? So speaking of getting things back in gear, September, we're going to be talking about women and money. So I'm continuing on with my monthly series, and we've got a lot to talk about this month, obviously, when it comes to women and money. I am putting together a workshop with Tracy Conan and Erin Levine of Hello Divorce. The three of us are joining forces and putting together a series of 6 workshops, actually, all about the stuff that your attorney isn't telling you or may not be telling you about how to get divorced. It's called Divorce Decoded. Divorce Decoded, unveiling the secrets your attorney isn't telling you. And like I said, that's going to be with me and Tracy Conan of Divorce Money Guide and Erin Levine of Hello Divorce. And it's really exciting, actually, because we have, like I said, a series of 6 workshops coming up. We're going to be talking about being empowered and equipped, the secrets to protecting yourself throughout your divorce, mediate or litigate, secrets to navigating the divorce legal process, find your advocate, the secrets to choosing the best attorney for your divorce, don't screw up your kids, secrets to protecting your children during divorce, claim your cash, secrets to getting the money you deserve in your divorce, and outsmart the bully, secrets to divorcing a narcissist. We had to postpone it. It was going to be starting like this week, but for a variety of reasons, we had to postpone it. So just look for that on all of our social medias. I will obviously talk more about it as we go along this month, and I'll have more specifics on the dates and times. I will also obviously send out emails about it. So just look for it in all the places. I just wanted to let you know that that was coming up. I also have a couple of other things I wanted to tell you about. In August, I did a little experiment where I sent out an email. If you're on my email list, you received this. Emails offering 3 or 6 coaching sessions with me. Normally, my private coaching is done in a package of 12. And it has, it is the more expensive option, obviously, because it's, 12 sessions, plus you get access to all of my online programs and you get access to me between sessions and all of the things, right? But I also noticed that for a lot of people, even though many women come to me and they say, oh my God, but it's only 12 sessions. And what if I need more? And I always say, I'm always here. You can always book more sessions. It's totally fine. I actually find that through our work together, we don't need that much. We don't need as much coaching and strategizing as people might think as we go along, just because I'm good at what I do, to be honest. And so I decided I would run an experiment and offer either a 3 or a 6 session coaching package. And it's actually gone really well. And I think it's going to work. It might work better. Listen, there are people that need the full package. There are people that are in really contentious, high conflict, difficult situations that definitely need the larger package. But I did want to find a way to work one-on-one with women in a way that was a little bit more financially accessible and time-wise accessible. So if you're interested, all that to say, if you are interested in booking a session, booking 3 or 6 sessions with me, go on over to kateanthony.com/apply. You're going to fill out a brief questionnaire. And then based on your answers, I will recommend whether I think you need 3 or 6. So it really is like, I can look at your situation and be like, we can totally knock this out in 3 sessions. And then, by the way, if you need more, I'm always here. I have clients who complete their 12 sessions and then book Sanity Savers, 3 months later because something else comes up. So once I'm your coach, I'm always your coach, y'all. Always. I will make a recommendation based on, what information you provide, 3 or 6 sessions. And I'm finding that these sessions are really beneficial, both, for the client and then also just in terms of my business. I think it just makes me more accessible. And that is, as you know, usually my goal is to be as accessible as possible to as many women as possible. So I'm still running Phoenix Rising, of course, which is my divorce empowerment collective for women who are going through divorce. If you've made the decision and you're like, what now? Phoenix Rising is what now? And a lot of the women in Phoenix Rising are actually booking 3-pack sessions as well because they just want a little bit more one-on-one support as they move through it. So those are the things we've got going on over here at DSG headquarters. The other thing I want you guys to remember is that I wrote a book. I realized I haven't talked about my book in a really long time, and that's my bad. But, I wrote a book. My dad is always like, you wrote a book? What? Yes, I did write a book. It's called The D Word, Making the Ultimate Decision About Your Marriage. And really, the D word, there's so much information in there, not just about making the decision. Karen McMahon, my dear friend from Journey Beyond Divorce, she wrote about the D word. The D word is a divorce coach in a book. The empathy and gentle kindness you feel the moment you begin to read these pages is in and of itself comforting. Kate Anthony has taken an immensely frightening and overwhelming circumstance and broken it down into bite-sized, understandable, and doable small steps while sharing a depth of love and compassion for where you are. If you're looking for all that, empathy, gentle kindness, compassion, love, check out the D word anywhere books are sold. This message is sponsored by Greenlight. A new school year is starting soon, and if you're a parent, you want to make this new school year an opportunity for your kids to learn important life skills and continue building independence. For that, I recommend Greenlight. Greenlight is a debit card and money app for families where kids learn how to save, invest, and spend wisely, and parents can keep an eye on kids' new money habits. Greenlight is the easy, convenient way for parents to raise financially smart kids and for families to navigate life together, even if living apart. We used Greenlight in my family for many, many years as my son was growing up, and it was really easy for us as divorced parents to add money to the parents' wallet ourselves and then give our son his allowance or add money as needed to his card. We were each able to add our bank account so that we were able to do this as a separated, divorced family as well. So sign up for Greenlight today and get your first month free when you go to greenlight.com/DSG. That's greenlight.com/DSG to try Greenlight for free. Greenlight.com/DSG. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. With back-to-school season ramping up, that means shopping, after-school activities, and a lot less free time. Skip the meal planning and grocery store runs with nutritious and delicious meals from HelloFresh. They handle most of the prep, making getting dinner on the table easier and faster than ever. HelloFresh now has 6 portion plans that are perfect for feeding the whole family or to have leftovers for effortless lunches the next day. My favorite thing about HelloFresh is that the meals are really, really delicious. And with protein and veggie swap options, you and the kids can choose just the right combos for each week's delivery. And for a limited time, kids eat free. Go to HelloFresh.com/DSGkids to unlock this exclusive offer. 1 free kids meal per box for 2 months while your subscription is active. So that's free kids meals just by going to HelloFresh.com/DSGkids. All right, so let's talk about money. So listen, the biggest hurdle, I think, for almost anyone going through divorce is going to be the financial aspect, right? And so many women feel financially disempowered, financially disenfranchised when they're going through divorce. There's an array of experiences that women go through, right? We have stay-at-home moms. We've got people who are financially disenfranchised or financially abused. We've got primary breadwinners, some of whom have chronically under-earning spouses, right? And all of these things, they inform your divorce and the decision-making process in very specific ways. So my goal this month is to address as much of this as possible. As you know, when you're going through a divorce, gathering your financial documents is going to be one of the first things that you're going to need to do. And I often recommend doing this before you even have the conversation, because sometimes that stuff can be harder to access after you have said that you want a divorce, right? So you're going to want bank statements, tax returns, statements from any investment accounts you have. As much as possible, you're going to want to download all of these financial documents. First of all, it's going to make everything a lot easier when you actually get to the divorce process, because one of the first things you're going to have to do are financial disclosures anyway. Another thing you're going to want to do is create a personal financial inventory. You're going to list all of your assets, all of your liabilities, including jointly owned assets and personal retirement accounts, all of that stuff. And that goes to, into the financial documents, but you want to also look, mortgages and, cars, all of that stuff. And you're going to want to understand the difference between marital versus non-marital assets. And the laws vary by state on this, and so it can be a little bit confusing. For example, in most states, right, well, almost all states, let's say an inheritance is not marital. But if part of that inheritance has been used and it's been commingled and it's been used for a down payment on a house, right? Like different states are going to handle that differently. And every situation is unique, right? And so you're going to want to understand that for your state and in your specific divorce. If you have been a stay-at-home mom, you may probably are going to get spousal support. And you're going to want to know exactly how much you might get, right? So, and every state is different on how it calculates spousal support. So you're going to want to talk to an attorney and find out how it's calculated and is it going to cover your needs during your transition. Something that is really hard to do is valuing non-monetary contributions to the marriage, right? So the work of a stay-at-home parent has value. It actually has a lot of financial value. However, very often the courts don't necessarily take that into, spousal support is essentially a calculation on that value. And we want to look at how it is valued in your divorce settlement. We're going to talk next month. We're going to be talking about things like the ERA, the Equal Rights Amendment, and how the fact that women don't have a constitutional right to equality, and what all of the things that actually impacts for us. And that this is one of those things. We're going to want to talk in this coming month about preparing for financial independence, right? Steps for re-entering the workforce. And I have a great guest who that is their specialty, is helping women who have been stay-at-home parents re-enter the workforce. This is actually somebody that one of my clients worked with, and I was like, get me their info because I want to talk to them, because after being a stay-at-home mom for a number of years, my client now has an amazing job that they helped her to get because they really helped her with her resume, interview skills, all of those things. So we're going to have a conversation with them this month about all of those things. If you are a victim of financial abuse, we want to make sure that you're able to identify that. Essentially, if you don't have access, if you are given, quote, an allowance, if you don't have access to marital funds, you are probably being financially abused. And it is your legal right to have access to all marital assets. So if you do not have access to that, you're going to need an attorney to help you get access to that, which can be a bit of a catch-22 because also very often, of course, the attorney is going to cost money. I was talking to a client this week about the fact that they were referred to an attorney who specializes in victims of domestic violence and domestic abuse and helping them get out and secure funds and all of that stuff. But their retainer, because it's such an enormous case, their retainer was $20,000. Well, the whole point is that my client didn't have access to their money. So how was she supposed to put that down? So there's a lot to consider there. And I do have a lot of content on that. If you go into the archives of this podcast, we've had a lot of conversations about financial abuse, especially with Tracy Conan on how to find money. All of her content on becoming your own forensic accountant is incredibly useful. So I very much recommend that you follow her on Instagram, listen to her podcast, The Divorce Money Guide, and all of the things, because she's super great about that. Another thing that we want to really think about as you're going through this process is support, and whether you're going to have to pay support or you're going to receive support, whether it's child support, whether it's spousal support, how much that might be, right? So if you are the primary breadwinner and you have a chronic under-earning spouse, you're probably going to have to pay support and possibly spousal support. That might feel really unfair, especially it's not just like, the statistics on stay-at-home dads versus stay-at-home moms are pretty staggering, right? For the most part, stay-at-home moms do a lot of work, all of the domestic labor, all of the childcare, all blah, 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 blah. And statistically, I think Zahn did a study about this, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it was like, for the most part, stay-at-home dads played video games. They didn't actually go grocery shopping, and, not all men, not all dads, but it's a huge discrepancy. And so we want to look at, if they are a chronic under-earner, you may want to ask them to have a vocational evaluation to find out how much money they actually could be making. And then you might want to do something where you say, listen, I'll give you a year, but by that point, you've got to be making what it is that your education level and your training level says that you should be making. I have a chapter on this in my book, actually, and I talk about client example for that. So all of that information is available. We'll probably talk about it this month as well. And then the next thing is like, God, we really want to think about, we are going to have a great conversation about this month. Building a, long-term financial planning post-divorce is a whole thing, right? So you're going to be reevaluating your budget based on, post-divorce realities. Housing, you're paying 100% of your rent. You're going to be, responsible for childcare on your time, education, healthcare costs, all of these things. And how is your budget going to change? When you get divorced, you basically have one income supporting a household. And as someone who has done that for over 15 years, let me tell you, it's very stressful. No one is sharing the rent or mortgage. No one is splitting the cable bill, right? It's all on you, and it's a lot. So we want to talk about building a sustainable budget post-divorce, and we will absolutely be talking about that this month as well. So, and like health insurance, life insurance, blah, 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 blah. Listen, it's the biggest concern for almost everybody that I work with, that I talk to, that I hear from. It's always money. But listen, here's the deal, right? This is about women's financial empowerment. This is about the fact that if you have had your head in the sand about finances over the last, 10, 20 years, whatever, no big deal. We all do it, right? Lord knows I did it. Now it's time to pull it out. It sucks. It's scary. It's terrifying. But here's the deal, right? The circumstances don't change whether your head's in the sand or not. So you may as well pull it out, start to look at some of these things, get to know the reality. If you can take the judgment out of the reality and just look at it as this is what's so. These are just the facts. There's no value attached to these facts. There's no judgment attached to these facts. They're simply facts. You're going to be in a much, much, much better place with this. Holding your hand through this is one of the top things that I do with clients, right? Let's gather the financials. Let's look at the numbers. Okay, what does that mean? Cool. We're not judging it. We're just looking at the reality. Because also, right? Oh, okay, so you need to make more money. Great. We're just going to go and figure out a way to make more money. That's what we're going to do. And that may feel overwhelming. It might feel impossible. But at the end of the day, if you don't actually have the information that says that that's what needs to happen, you're still going to need to make more money. You're still going to be in a hole, right? You're just not going to know about it or what's happening, right? We've got to get clear. In a lot of circles, right, we just call that the numbers, right? Sometimes money has a lot of weight to it, but if we just look at them as numbers, it takes some of the emotional weight off of it, and we can work with them a little bit more clearly. So there's a lot of this stuff coming up this month. I really, really hope that you stick around this month, listen to all of these episodes on finances, divorce and money, essentially. And like I said, I have some incredible guests coming up this month. I think I told you that I have a woman who helps with women re-entering the workforce. I have a great conversation with a woman named Nikki Tucker, who is a CDFA and works specifically with primary breadwinners. I was hoping I'm going to have a conversation with Amy Bradbury, who is an incredible financial coach. She's actually my financial coach and money person. So I just messaged her yesterday and was like, I need you to come on my podcast. And I'm pretty sure she will. So we'll see. Anyway, that's what's happening over here in DSG headquarters coming up. And I absolutely love and adore you. Again, remember that I am available to you always. You can check out Phoenix Rising, kateanthony.com/decided. You can also check out the ways that I work with women. If you want to get a 3 or a 6-pack, kateanthony.com/apply, and we'll let you know which one we think is probably going to work best for you. I will say that most people, a 3-pack is good enough. So don't be scared. And again, my book, always my book, The D Word, Making the Ultimate Decision About Your Marriage. Thank you so much for being here. I love and adore every single one of you. If you're listening to this podcast, I literally love and adore you. So stick around for more great stuff coming up this month.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Divorce Survival Guide podcast. If you like what you hear, head on over to Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen in and leave me a review. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at The Divorce Survival Guide. I'll see you next time, and until then, remember, you, my love, deserve to be happy.
Are you a parent in need of a laugh and a little escape? Look no further. Parenting is a Joke is the podcast you've been waiting for. Hey, I'm Ophira Eisenberg. I'm a stand-up comic and parent. And each week I chat with one of my top comedian pals who, just like you, are juggling careers, busy lives and schedules, and raising a family. You can expect candid stories, hilarious mishaps that happen on stage and at home, and just a lot of laughs. There's no expert advice here. Well, actually, sometimes a good idea does sneak its way in, but mostly just pure, relatable fun to remind you that we're all in this parenting adventure together. New episodes of Parenting is a Joke drop every Tuesday, so tune in, get ready to laugh, unwind, and maybe even feel a little bit better about your own parenting. Because sometimes that's exactly what your therapist, pediatrician, and bartender ordered. Subscribe now on your favorite podcast platform.